Welcome, 3:30. You guys are sticking in there. I even have some front row quadrant people. Okay, how many people have heard of Smartsheet? Oh, okay, good. We have a few. I've been in the channel for a long time, hardware, software, services. I have been running the channel at Smartsheet for about 3 years. Over 3 years, and when I came to Smartsheet, I really was given a white piece of paper to reinvent our partner program, and I really well, let me start with this slide because the people that are actually non-ADHD storytellers, they never use this slide. You just figure it out because their presentation's kind of boring. I like to give you all the background of how we got to where we are. And I don't know if you can read all this, but what it really means is you can interrupt me with questions, and I actually won't even notice because I won't lose my train of thought because this is how it works. So you can stop me with a question at any time. When we started building this program at Smartsheet, we really asked a lot of questions, and I want to kind of go through that structure because it gave us, we had the luxury of 2 or 3 quarters of really building this thing out in the right way and interviewing a lot of partners, and it gave us a chance to actually build a program that really drove specific value add for our company and not the same value add in every geography around the world. So I'm going to go through that. I'll talk a little bit about our program and what we actually built, what our core KPIs and OKRs are, how we've resolved some channel conflict, and then how I've sold it internally too, because we got a new CFO a while back, and sometimes you get the chance to resell everything you've already built. So, okay, so this is the building blocks of partner value add for Smartsheet, and I think it's really key to ask what you want the channel to do. And I think, I've met a lot of people here, and a lot of people maybe have well, we just want more sales and marketing, or we just want more leads. We need qualified leads, or we need partners in non-US geographies because we've got the US geographies covered. So that's good. We actually have a much more complex value add viewpoint, and we have a diverse viewpoint depending on which geography around the world. But our partner community actually delivers all this value add that you see on the slide. And I would say the core value add that our partner community brings Smartsheet is that services bench ability and capacity. So we onboard partners that can build a services bench and deliver solutions in support of Smartsheet. And it brings a lot of optionality to our sales teams that we have partners delivering services at different price points than Smartsheet Direct, but it also brings a lot of capacity in non-US geographies, in Germany and Mexico and Japan, where engagements need to happen in local language, right? And our partners also bring unique vertical market expertise like PPM, portfolio project management, a core solution area for us. But then it really spans the range because in certain end customer environments, we need procurement simplicity. So we have partners that do that too. But I think you need to be deliberate and thoughtful about what that value add is. You really want partners, and there's not one answer globally. It should be multiples. Okay, so this is what our partner community looks like, and we really focus on what we call high value add solution partners. However, we have partners that are in each one of those segments you see on the globe there. When I took over, we only had resell partners, so we only had like the SHIs, the Softcats, the Zones, those fulfillment resell partners. We still have those partners, and they are an important role, but they're not delivering services. They're not investing in expanded Smartsheet competency, all those things. We really saw the ability to extend the reach of Smartsheet by investing in high value add solution partners. The complexity in a program like this is not insignificant in that you need specific programs and discount levels and gives and gets that for each one of those partner types, right? And you need to be able to keep it straight and triage it. I mean, we have a big promo running right now because we're Formula One sponsors, and so the partners that are doing all the awesome deal regs and sourcing new opportunities, they get to go to a Formula One race with me and some of my sales reps. Okay, we're not extending that program to everybody, right? So when you're doing those communications and things like that, you have to be able to discriminate who you're giving that stuff to. So here's what some of our partners are that map to these 4 different levels, different discounts, different gives and gets, different enablements for all these different partners. A lot of people here seem to be focused on referral partners and affiliate partners, and I've sat in a few sessions today around affiliate and referral partner management. That is not an important part of our program. And I'll tell you how we got to where we're at. This is our ideal partner profile. And the one thing I figured out when I got here is you really need to work backwards from the economics of what your program and product can deliver. And our average deal size is about $8,800 US, okay? If I pay a partner 15 or 20% of that ARR, it's not really a big bucket of money. You really need to test the economics of what you can support when you're recruiting partners. The sample current partners you see on the screen there, if I only had the discount, they would not be our partners. What I figured out they need and what I also needed, so we found that common ground, is they needed services. And so that's how services really became core to the value proposition that we're taking to market. It was really driven by the economics. So on an $8,800 deal, most of my partners in most deals can get 2 to 5x, somewhere in that range of a services SAL attached to that $8,800 deal. So it's $30,000, maybe $40,000 services engagement. Now that is an interesting, profitable piece of business for those partners you see listed there. If I didn't have that, the partner program would not be able to attract the kind of partners I have. The other core characteristics, we're looking for at least 5 people on a sales team that can extend our reach, right? You can spend a lot of time on really small partners that are never going to extend your reach. We're looking for partners that have trusted advisor status with some of our key verticals. So have they done it before? I was just meeting with a partner in Germany, and they are a PTC partner. It's a product lifecycle management piece of software. They've sold it for 20 years into German automotive. They've got big engagements with some big legacy history with some big German automotive companies. Well, that's a really interesting vertical for us, right? And how do we leverage their relationships and their status to tell a Smartsheet story in those firms? They're going to lean in on the services and the ability to sell services into those firms. Yeah, they want to transact the software also. I also spend a lot of time looking for partners that have new opportunity discovery capability. I think, and I've been doing this a while, that's always been a challenge in the channel game, is the marketing competency of our partners is always incredibly low. And the ability to teach them how to go hunt. And the one slide that is in my marketing enablement deck is 80% of the buyer's journey is complete before that buyer contacts your salesperson. And a lot of partners don't understand how to operationalize that reality. First of all, they might not believe the reality, and it's absolutely true. And then, so once they're convinced of that reality, how do they intersect that buyer's journey with the tools and everything that we bring to bear? So talking about services, I got to prove the services story, right? And this is the total addressable market for services engagements globally in this calendar year that Smartsheet sees throughout the world. And we have our own professional services direct, and all the partners know that. And so they want to know, is there room for us, right? And they're looking at that and say, I'm like, well, 15,000 in the US, 3,000 in EMEA, and I always bring up a country-specific slide. So if I'm talking to a partner in the UK, I'm like, yeah, in the UK alone, in 2022, 1,200 services engagements. I don't have anywhere near the quantity of professional services people to satisfy that number of engagements. So the pie is big enough for us both to eat at. Are you in? Are you still interested? And they'll. The smart ones, I mean, this is always the lean-in part of the partner recruitment pitch. They'll want to know how I got to that number, and I can explain that and justify it and prove it. And once they're convinced that there's a fantastic services market opportunity, the conversation moves very quickly to, okay, how are you going to teach me to land this services opportunity? I want to hunt for you. I want to take you into automotive, et cetera. But I don't know how to deliver services. So the program becomes, and the enablement becomes super important. I'm going to talk about that in a minute. So OKRs is a Smartsheet thing. It stands for objectives and key results, or objectives, and then as measured by. And I think we got that from Intel or somebody in this neighborhood, and now it's become part of our culture. So I have I have 5 key OKRs. I'll show you. I actually had the real numbers on here, and then I was looking at the list Sunir sent out and saw that 3 of my competitors are here, so I thought I better take the actual numbers off the slide. So we call it a partner collab goal, so that's just the big number of either partner sourced or partner transacted. Partner sourced is a part of, I think, everybody's partner program. We track it via deal reg, and we set geo targets for partner sourced opportunities. Partner share of global bookings. So we track that too. Our partner share of global bookings is growing faster than Smartsheet, so we have big targets there. We have new partner recruitment targets every year. We have big targets for partner services capacity and competency. So how many partner individuals are we upskilling? To what levels in our program, and to the different enablement pathways. And then I also look very much at onboarding. So how quickly are we ramping new partner signings? Because it's can be quite tricky to actually turn that newly signed partner into that first dollar of revenue together. Okay, so here's some more metrics. I bring numbers to all the internal meetings. I remember this quote from Jack Welch, the former CEO of IBM. He used to say, in God we trust, everyone else brings numbers. And so I find that the numbers really matter to people. We have about 14% of our global bookings have been through partners in the last year. We want to grow that next year. We have 170 of our highest tier partners out of 750 total partners. So 200 of our partners are actually active with us over the last 6 months, and that's about 25%. Sun Microsystems, Level 3, IBM, all the partner programs where I've worked, it's always about 20 or 25% of the partners are doing all the revenue, and that seems to hold true for everybody. And then this is the professional services status is our highest, most competent partner individuals. We've grown that number in a big way because partners delivering services, it's not only core to the value proposition, it's core to how Smartsheet grows by having a fantastic ecosystem of services delivery, not just Smartsheet, but in the partner community. Okay. So the partner program, I think we heard the woman from Zoom this morning, Padilla, Laura Padilla, I think is her name. She talked a little bit about their partner program. I think the partner program is absolutely the most critical thing we're taking to market for our partners. It's how the partner is going to get enabled, but it's also how he's going to actually make money with our product. And so I put a lot of effort and a lot of headcount into making sure we have a world-class partner program. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 people, soon to be 5 people on this team right now. So certification, accreditation, learning pathways, MDF, co-marketing tools, the partner portal, how we onboard, deal reg, is our deal reg program credible, and then big incentives around deal reg, like that Formula One program I mentioned, and all of that, is part of the partner program that we take to market and that we invest in. Okay, here's some of our learning pathways. So as our product line has grown and as our solution areas where Smartsheet is expanding into has grown, our accreditation and learning pathways has expanded dramatically. And every time we do an acquisition or build out a new solution, like we're very focused on Smartsheet for marketing right now, and we bought a digital asset management software company in Denver called Brandfolder. Well, now new learning pathways and accreditations, have to be created, right, to make sure we're bringing competent partners to customer engagements. So we have 3 people on this right now. Okay, channel conflict. So I was asked to just add something about channel conflict, and actually working at Smartsheet has been great. It's actually the most minimal channel conflict of anywhere I've worked in my career. I always like to say, if you don't have channel conflict, you must not be selling a lot through the channel, because there's a certain amount of expected channel conflict in every program. We have the good fortune of having compensation neutrality. My boss, the CRO, we give 100% list price quota retirement to our direct sellers when a deal transacts through the channel in one of their domain assigned accounts. So that takes care of a whole lot of channel conflict. Our sales teams are very interested, motivated, and rewarded for working with our partners, whether the partner sourced the deal or whether the end customer just wants to transact the deal through the partner, or whether the salesperson wants to bring in a partner to deliver services or to do the transaction. I mean, I'll give you an example. Is in India and Malaysia and Korea, we are pretty much 100% partner-led for a variety of logistical reasons, including language and currency, but the on-site, in-country partners are obviously going to do a better job transacting that deal. So our salespeople are very motivated. Anytime there's a lead in India or Malaysia, they know exactly what partner they're going to bring in on that opportunity. I will add, we're growing really fast, and we keep adding new direct salespeople at Smartsheet at a fantastic clip. A lot of those people are young, and a lot of those people have not worked in a hybrid sales environment where there's a channel and a direct living together in harmony. And so there's an education mountain there that as 20 or 30 new salespeople get hired every month in different places around the world, they got to be upskilled in how to work with channels. Who are the partners in my region? All the tiering, that I showed you, that's all new news, new content for a lot of these younger sellers that don't really understand the difference between a high-value solution provider who has a bench of professional services people versus a CDW. Dramatic difference. We compensate them very differently. We got to teach all that to a salesperson who's new in his or her career. Okay. Selling channel value add internally. When I took over this program, we had a lot of friction between our CFO and my predecessor in this role. So I had to dig out of that ditch. And I had to bring a lot of numbers, and these were kind of some of the bullets of how I convinced her that we should continue to invest and expand in a channel program, that it's a variable cost of sale. And I brought numbers on all the deal costs, and one of the numbers any CFO, if you have a large end customer, a lot of large complex end customers, the way they transact with application SaaS software, at least with us, is each group has to cut their own PO. So we have end customers that are cutting at renewal time about 1,300 or 1,400 individual purchase orders to Smartsheet. Transacting those is insanely complex and costly, right? Well, we put a reseller like an SHI in between that end customer and us. We get one PO. That's a brilliant thing. It takes her about a nanosecond to start equating the value of getting one PO on a massive renewal. The services delivery optionality for our sellers is really key because we're in business to sell ARR, annual recurring revenue, software. Like that is our investor community. That's the number they look at. Now, we sell services also, and it's a part of our total number that we report to the street every quarter, but the ARR number is the big number. And anything that can help the ARR number go up faster gets a big seat at the table. And so having services optionality where the blended rate that my partners quote on a services engagement is lower than what Smartsheet quotes direct. And in certain countries like Mexico, it's significantly lower. My partners can deliver services in Mexico dramatically lower. And so in a price-sensitive country like Mexico, having partners being able to deliver services is actually critical to getting a deal done because the Smartsheet pricing is not exactly market acceptable. And if we didn't have partners, we might not get that deal. We wouldn't get the ARR. Scalable reach, go-to-market speed, ability to start an engagement faster, leveraging the trusted advisor status. And I like to model the channel contribution. So at 15% or 13%, and the actual blended discount and the actual cost of transacting through the channel for the revenue we're going to bring in, I model all of that when selling the partner program internally. Okay, so this is my summary slide. I think I went pretty fast. We got like 5 or 10 minutes for questions. What questions?
Any questions, anyone? Here we go.
Yes.
When you look at, again, your different kinds of, channel partners, right? You might have different comm structure for them or different, margin structure for them. Do you see channel conflict in those areas where two partners are competing for a deal and then, they both want to do the deal reg and then, one's offering a different, again, structure to the customer? Yeah.
We don't have that problem very often. If we get two deal regs for the same deal, we'll look at the legacy of that partner in that account. Now, so if they're both net new in the account, we'll actually talk to our salesperson to ask him who he thinks had incumbent status. And then we might ask the customer as well, which partner was in. It's usually pretty clear which partner actually has the legacy relationship in the account. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Other questions?
Anyone else? Oh, we got one.
Great.
I have to formulate this question because I know what I want to ask, but I haven't thought of quite the question yet. So give me a second. I think my question is this: how important and critical do you think comp neutrality is with the direct sales team? And how have you sold that internally, right? Because I think that's one of the hardest things I've seen. I've been at a few ISVs, and it all depends on leadership and executive presence there, but it's a tough sell sometimes.
Well, yeah, when I took over, we did not have comp neutrality. So what we had were two, competing swim lanes, and so we were not full. Our partners were not getting the benefit of working collaboratively with Smartsheet sellers, right? So on a large end customer account, we had partners selling Smartsheet over here, but not wanting to collaborate with our direct sellers who had, a $2 or $3 million worth of business in that same account. So we saw the benefit of the collaboration because our sellers are so much, our direct sellers are so much wiser on the how to run a sales cycle on Smartsheet, and upskilling the partner and bringing them in. So if we could take down the friction of the comp neutrality, or of the compensation channel conflict by giving 100% retirement of quota at list price to that seller, then it was a huge benefit to the partner community. And now we can do account mapping. Now we can have so much more cooperation. In a high-growth SaaS company, there's more of a focus on hitting the top line, and as opposed to a little more cost of sale because you comped a salesperson on a channel source deal. That was actually an easy sell. So, yeah, and it helped that I've had the wrong boss in this role. I have the right boss right now, and he came from Oracle NetSuite. He understood the power of channels to really expand our reach. So he was on board.